Greetings, and welcome to my channel. This is Sorcerer Tal. You can also find me on Facebook in the Sorcerer's Guild. Today, on Sorcerer's Shadow Volume 1, we are going to be discussing the essay entitled The Personal Sigil. Now, what is a personal sigil? A personal sigil is a sigil that is designed to represent you. But it doesn't just represent you, it also represents the form of your will. If you want to look at it as how you do with a regular sigil, its intent is your will. Its form is the sigil that you create. Its charge is you working with it all the time. So you charge it, just like any other sigil, but also you simply living charges it because it is connected to you. And then, it's a containment sigil, obviously, and it's contained within the form of the sigil itself. And of course, you are the vessel because this is your sigil and it becomes connected to you. Okay, so as I have already done a video on this previously. In that one, I demonstrate how I created my own personal sigil, and I also go over some of the uses of the personal sigil. Some that I did not cover in the previous videos is that your personal sigil is also quite useful for banishment. Now, of course, let's go over this real quick, what the personal sigil is, just in case, for those of you that didn't bother clicking on the other video, and how it's created. What you do is you take your magical name, or your real name, whatever you consider your real name. You take whatever you consider your real name, whether it be your magical name, like mine, Tal, and you take those letters and create a sigil from them. Now, in my case, my personal sigil actually connects to both Tal and my daily name, both of which I identify with. So it connects to both of them. So you take the letters, bend them around, and create a sigil just like you would any other. And this sigil, the intent, is you. So that's why it's created from your name. You are the statement of intent. So once you've created this sigil, you can place it on areas to allow your will to manifest there and allow you easier access to remote view or astral project there if you are good at those types of skills. It also allows you to place protections on things and people that you care about. Placing your personal sigil on people, simply tracing it on them, is a form of protection. Of course, this has to be with the person's will. Well, it should be. Because if not, you're basically just branding people, and that's not really polite. But anyways, I cover some other uses of the sigil in there, in the other video, and I discussed it in the essay. It's a good thing to mark your personal tools with, because they then become connected to you. It's a great way to create links to anything that you want to, really. Now, beyond that, your personal sigil. If you don't have a god, goddess, Loa, whatever, that you like to call upon, and you need to do a banishment, well, here you go. Use your sigil. This is a way to project your will out. You simply visualize your sigil and push it forward, and you can use it to project your presence forward and push out other presences just like you would with any other banishment. And in fact, from personal experience, I found this is a great way to deal with sleep paralysis. Whether it be actual hagging, which means some being is holding you down and pulling energy off of you, or if it's simply that you're not getting into your body. For some reason, you've fallen out of sync. Both of those things can be causes of sleep paralysis, especially if you're doing lucid dreams. Then it's a good chance that you're just kind of out of sync. It's a bit terrifying, but there's nothing really going on. If you calm down, sometimes that will get out of it. But another way is to use that terror, and force your will into your sigil. Imagine your sigil poking forward. And yeah, like when you get the sleep paralysis, you know how like when you finally get one fingertip to move, suddenly you can start moving everything? Well, the personal sigil is like that. It's that little tear. You just put all your will and force it into your personal sigil and shove it outwards, and imagine it pushing into your hand and getting your hand to move. And there you go. You've broken the sleep paralysis. This used to happen to me quite often. That's exactly how I got rid of it. And I've suggested this method to other people as well in the past. Okay. Beyond that, well, after you die, your personal sigil could be used to call upon your Ka, or even perhaps your higher self if you were willing. And there are some uses for it in blood magic that we will get to on a later video. It's not covered in this book, but we will cover blood magics at some point. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else we need to say about the personal sigil? We've gone over how to create it, what it's for, and more about the after death. If you have some hope of becoming a ghost after death, you could also place it in places to create anchor points. An anchor point is areas where your energy is linked to that area, and that's the areas where a ghost is able to manifest more easily. When we are exorcising a ghost, it is often these anchor points that we need to either remove the object they're attached to or sever. And with your personal sigil, you're essentially creating these anchor points. That's why I said earlier that you could use it to astral project to those locations. Well, if you were to die and were a ghost, you could then still use it to astral project to those locations, is essentially what that is when you talk about creating an anchor point. Okay, so I think that will be it for this episode. I am going to pick up the pace of this playlist and probably do one every day possibly, or every couple days until the playlist is finished, so that we can get on to writing the next book. Okay, well, I believe the next one is locking sigils. Hopefully that's correct, so I don't have to do them out of order. Actually, we will go with whatever's in the book. Hopefully I don't mess up here. So, like I said, I believe the next one is locking sigils. Thank you once again for joining us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take the opportunity to do so now. And don't forget to join us next time. Until then, bright blessings and an interesting fate. This has been Sorcerer Tal.